Coming up on UCF Sports Night, from overcoming cancer to overcoming opponents on the waves, we show you the incredible story of Claire Frenkel. And the softball team is winding down its regular season. We check in with Coach Renee Lours-Gillespie. All that and more next on UCF Sports Night.
UCF Sports Night is brought to you by UCF TV.
What's up, Night fans? Welcome once again to UCF Sports Night. I'm your host, Jeff Sharon. Thank you so much for joining us once again. We've got a great story to show you in this week's show. We're going to profile Claire Frenkel of the women's rowing team. You do not want to miss that. But first, it's time to see some of the action from the week, and it was a relatively light week of action with finals going on here at UCF. But we start with a big event, the men's golf team looking to defend their Conference USA championship from last year on the same course that they won it last year, Red Tail Golf Club up in Sorrento. Let's take a look and see if they could defend their title. Weather conditions varied throughout the weekend, but the Knights held a 5-shot lead heading into the final round at Red Tail. Of the 5 Knights who took to the links, 3 of them finished tied for second place at 2 under par. Nuno Enriquez fired a 6 under 66 in the final 18, and Connor Arendel also came up with a huge round, posting a 5 under 67. Brad Schneider joined that pair at 2 under par for the tournament, just ahead of last year's champion Simon Ward, who finished at even par. And the Knights finished 10 under for the final round as a team, and they win the tournament going away by 18 strokes with a 6 under par performance. It's the second straight Conference USA championship for UCF, and their first under head coach Bryce Waller, and the Knights are heading back to the NCAA Regionals.
We played well as a team each day, and everybody pitched in, did their part, and finally put 4 scores together like we were talking about. And you know, it's awesome to do it in this one to get another conference championship.
You know, I think we've done a lot of qualifying this year. Guys have been in competitive situations. They're tough kids. They're resilient, and we've worked hard on these situations, preparing for this and having to get the job done, and they did it.
On Saturday, the rowing team had its lone home meet of the year on Lake Pickett against Alabama and Miami. UCF won 3 of the 6 races on the day, paced by the Varsity 8 boats. The first Varsity 8 won its race in 7:36 6/10, and the second Varsity 8 also picked up a win, finishing the 2,000-meter course in 8:02.5. The second Novice 8 also scored a victory, recording a winning time of 8:42.9. It was a solid performance for UCF as they now prepare for the South and Central Region Championships in Tennessee later this month. The only other action for the weekend took place on the baseball diamond as the Knights faced Memphis in a 3-game set. In Game 1 on Friday, the Knights trailed 7-0 in the 5th, but the offense came to life, led by Ronnie Richardson, who smashed this delivery over the left field wall for a grand slam that sparked the comeback. Later on in the 7th inning, Chris Halliday goes deep to right. The solo shot gives the Knights the lead, and they would not give it up as they get the comeback win 11-8. In game number 2, Johnny Sedlock was outstanding on the hill, scattering 6 hits over 5 innings and striking out 2 batters. However, the Memphis Bats woke up in the later innings, and they take the win. In the rubber game on Sunday, the Knights were down 8-4 in the bottom of the 9th, but Ronnie Richardson had something to say about that. A 3-run homer here, cutting the lead down to 1. UCF would tie it up a few batters later and send it to extra innings, but Memphis would end up taking the victory in 10. And of course, for all the latest news, scores, and features from every UCF sport, log on to UCFathletics.com, your online home for UCF sports. Coming up next on UCF Sports Night, from overcoming cancer to overcoming her opponents on the waves. We show you the incredible story of Claire Frenkel of the UCF rowing team when we return. Knight fans, the 2010 Conference USA Outdoor Track and Field Championships are coming to UCF May 14th, 15th, and 16th at the Track and Soccer Complex. More information at 407 UCF 1000 and at UCFathletics.com. Welcome back to UCF Sports Night. We're going to show you a really incredible story now. It's about Claire Frenkel. She's on the UCF rowing team. And the fact that she's on the rowing team is really amazing when you consider the fact that she's a cancer survivor. Claire is now one of the leaders on the team, and we get a closer look at her in this week's Sports Night Spotlight.
My name is Claire Frenkel. I'm on the UCF women's rowing team. I'm a coxswain, but I'm also a cancer survivor. I guess I was diagnosed with cancer when I was 4 years old. It was completely out of the blue. I woke up one morning and I went into my parents' room and I said, I can't feel my throat, it hurts really bad. And they said that I was saying this as if I was a bullfrog, meaning the cancer had grown so large that it was sitting on my vocal cords. Took us to the emergency room and they're like, oh, you know, I think we're gonna do a tonsillectomy, and they removed them, biopsy, it came back cancerous. We started treatment on my 4th birthday. I went through a 1.5 years of chemotherapy and radiation, and I was one of the only children to have this rare type of cancer that was in my tonsils. So I was essentially the guinea pig for all my treatment. That was probably the hardest thing for me, was realizing, all right, I'm sick, and I don't know why I'm sick, and why isn't everybody else sick? My parents, said we'd do anything to keep her here, and they did. And after 1.5 years of treatments, I'm here. So it was an incredible experience, painful, but I've grown a lot from it. So I actually started rowing my freshman year of high school, and I walked onto the team and absolutely fell in love with it. And I started out as a rower, so I was actually the engine of the boat in high school. I got to college about January of my freshman year. I had some medical issues that I was passing out in the boat, and I couldn't do it. So I went to my doctor, and he's like, you've got to stop. Your body can't handle it. And this was from side effects of me being a cancer patient. I was told up front after I finished all my treatments, you probably will never be able to do anything aerobic or anything athletic because your body has gone through a lot. And I don't take no for an answer. So I pushed myself really, really hard. It was extremely difficult hearing the doctor say you can't row anymore. But I took it with a positive thing, and here I am. I'm still a part of this incredible team as a coxswain, and I'm still gaining what I would have gained from it as a rower. My outlook on my survival has changed a little bit. I've always been the type of person that I never give up, and anything I set my mind to, I'm going to accomplish it. And it did come to a halt when I couldn't row anymore, even though I'm still a part of the rowing team. That was probably the biggest time it hit me that, all right, maybe everything's not going to go according to plan. But at the same time, I'm stronger because of it, and I push myself to the limit because I don't like being told I can't do something. It doesn't work for me.
And for more information on Claire and the UCF rowing team as they get ready for the postseason, log on to UCFathletics.com. Coming up next on UCF Sports Night, softball is winding down the regular season, and they are in prime position as we get ready for the Conference USA tournament. We sit down with head coach Renee Lours-Gillespie when UCF Sports Night returns. Night fans, season tickets for UCF football in 2010 are available now. More information at 407 UCF 1000 and at UCFathletics.com. Welcome back to UCF Sports Night. The softball season is winding down. UCF has just one more home game to go and then 3 other conference games heading into the conference tournament. So joining me now to talk about the season so far, head coach Renee Lours-Gillespie. Coach, how's it going?
Good, thank you, Jeff.
Thanks for coming on the show. It's been an interesting year so far. A lot of ups, a lot of downs, but things are coming together really in a hurry as we head towards the conference tournament. Give me your evaluation of things right now as they stand with the team.
Well, we're sitting to going into our last home series with the Jacksonville. I say series, a single game at 5 o'clock on Tuesday. And then we're going into our last series with UTEP. We're heading down there on Friday and getting a chance to play a 3-game series with them. And then we're actually staying down there and going over to Houston to finish up with the Conference USA.
The hitting right now has actually stepped it up. We saw it in the Bethune-Cookman game, that midweek game a couple of weeks back. They put up a lot of runs, but we were able to match them and put 7 runs up on the board. And how relieving is it for you to know that, you know, if things aren't working out in the circle, at least you do have some offense to kind of back things up? Yeah,
we struggled early on. We've had a lot of games up and down, and the offense is usually the one area that we've been struggling with. We've had a lot of strikeouts early on in the season, and we're starting to kind of settle in now and really stay focused on one pitch at a time. And the girls, in the last 2 weeks, you've seen some amazing changes in their hitting in their offense. They're a lot more focused, a lot more disciplined, really working to find that one pitch and being aggressive at the plate. Offensively, base running, we're just going nuts right now. I think a lot of our runs have been scored on just heads-up base running opportunities. And being able to use that on offense is helping our pitchers out on the mound, because it is a hard job. I mean, you look, Ashley has been throwing so many great games for us all season long, and we're losing by 1-2 and winning by 1-2, and it's tough to know that we're relying so much on her that now you're starting to see our offense taking over a little bit more.
How huge has Natalie Land been this year? She's really broken out this season, hasn't she?
She has. She's so much fun to watch. I noticed you had some highlights last time on your show with her, and it's like she is just a highlight show. She has the ESPN highlights going every time she plays second base. She just has this feeling of confidence now, coming in now as a sophomore and kind of settling in at the plate. She's fun to watch offensively, but defensively, you never see a kid, and we joke about this all the time, you can't teach the things that she does. You cannot teach the skill level that she has, because she's just so athletic. She's laying out for everything. She loves to be able to be the one on the ball every time. You know, she's the one that's going to always make the play. And if anyone gets a chance to come out on Tuesday, come out and watch her, because she is so much fun to watch.
Winding it down, the UTEP series, that's a tough road test. Those 3 games to finish out. Now, standings-wise, we're in pretty good shape right now, obviously, but what do you want to accomplish in those last 3 games on the road, long road trip out to West Texas?
Well, anytime you go into a conference series, you want to take at least 2 of the 3. It's going to determine a lot on the next week. We're off this week where all the other teams are playing. There's always a shuffling around every week with our conference. Every team in our conference is just, the parity is just incredible with Conference USA this year. So going in that series, you're always looking for 2 out of 3 games, but that may change. I mean, it may get a point for us to be able to still stay and have a chance of winning the regular season conference. We may have to take 3 of the 3, and that's really tough to do in El Paso. You talk about high altitude, you're talking about the balls really taking off, you talk about spins of our pitches, they don't break as much as they do down here. So you have to kind of make those adjustments going into El Paso, and having at their home advantage, home field advantage, it's always a tough place to play. But I think if we just stay focused on what we need to do, really stay in tune with what we need to do each game at each pitch, and not worry to try to get too far ahead of ourselves, I think we'll have a good series down there with El Paso.
Last thing for you, these 5 seniors that you had the pleasure of coaching, for some of them for a couple of years, a couple of them for 4, a very diverse group. They have really left an impression here. Give me your last impression of them as we head to the last few games with them.
Well, I would just say great leaders. They are wanting so much to have an opportunity to go postseason and the opportunity to win the conference, that they have worked so well together. The 5 of them together have just kind of encircled the team to go and work hard for that purpose. You look at Mary Helen, and she's our spiritual leader. She's the one that motivates you, that that helps you see things over and above what you're doing on the field. You look at Ashley Cole and Christina DeMello, both big-time pitchers that have done great jobs for us this year. Big wins on the mound for both of them. Definitely leaders on the mound. When they get out there, the team plays really strong behind them. You look at Morgan Bullard, you know, she's just solid in left field. Her speed out there is fun to watch on the bases. She's making things happen. And she's really came into herself this year, being able, her slapping has improved so much. She's put a lot of havoc on the defenses now. And the crew is just, you know, you can't, you know, think about Hillary. Hillary just the bulldog. We just talked about she's in your face. She's pump you up. She's the one that is going to play 100% every single game she plays. And the combination of the five of them has just been so much fun to be a part of seeing them grow in the last 4 years and watching how they're really just bringing this team together and wanting it to be such a successful season. So, you know, I definitely going to miss them. We're all going to miss just their heart and their soul when they play this game. So, you know, it's going to be sorely missed.
Well, the best part about it is it's not over yet.
True.
So with 4 more regular season games and then the conference tournament and hopefully the NCAA tournament after that, we'll get to see the best of them coming up. Head coach Renee Gillespie from UCF softball. Thank you so much for joining us. Best of luck the rest of the way. Best of luck in the conference tournament.
Thank you.
Don't go away. Coming up next here on UCF Sports Night, we've got some news and notes and our plays of the week. Don't go away. We're back in just a moment. Knight fans, the 2010 Conference USA Outdoor Track and Field Championships are coming to UCF May 14th, 15th, and 16th at the Track and Soccer Complex. More information at 407 UCF 1000 and at UCFathletics.com.
The new UCF College of Medicine will help Florida get all the doctors it needs. But until then, be extra careful. UCF stands for opportunity.
All right, welcome back to UCF Sports Night. We're going to get to our plays of the week and the week ahead in just a moment. But first, here's some news and notes. Believe it or not, 2010 preseason football award watch lists are already being passed out, and defensive lineman Bruce Miller has found himself on one of them. He's on the watch list for the Rotary Lombardi Award, which goes to college football's top defensive lineman or linebacker. Miller was Conference USA's Defensive Player of the Year as a junior in 2009, after recording 13 sacks and 18 tackles for loss. He's currently tied 9th all-time in sacks by Division I FBS players from the state of Florida. For his career, the Canton, Georgia native has 27 sacks to his credit. Meanwhile, 4 of Miller's former teammates have either signed with or been invited to try out for NFL franchises following the draft. Among them, Rocky Ross got the call from his hometown Jacksonville Jaguars. Also, Ian Bastillo picked up a tryout with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. On the defensive side of the ball, Michael Greco signed with the New York Giants, and linebacker Corey Hogue got an invitation to try out for the Indianapolis Colts. Those 4 joined Buffalo Bills draftee Terrell Troop as the newest Knights to enter the National Football League. Time now for our Sports Night plays of the week. Here's play number 3. Here's a look at play number 2. And finally, here's play number 1.
Let's recognize the 2010 Conference USA Men's Golf Champions with the 6 under, 858, the Knights of UCF.
And those are your Sports Night plays of the week. Spring continues to wind down as we take a look at the week ahead. On Tuesday night, the softball team has its final home game of the season as they face Jacksonville at the softball complex. First pitch for the game is at 5 p.m. and you can see it on UCFathletics.com. Meanwhile, the baseball team has a road midweek contest with old rival Florida Atlantic down in Boca Raton. First pitch against the Owls is at 6:30, and you can hear that at UCFathletics.com. Fresh off winning the Conference USA Championship, the men's golf team heads up to Ocala for the Golden Ocala Invitational at Golden Ocala Golf and Equestrian Club. It's a one-day event to conclude the regular season. Also on Thursday, women's track and field has one final tune-up event before their conference meet. It's the UCF Twilight, another one-day event that goes on all day at the track and soccer complex. Softball finishes its regular season in El Paso with a 3-game set against UTEP. The series starts with a doubleheader on Saturday beginning at 5 Eastern and finishes with Game 3 of the series on Sunday at 2 Eastern. You can catch every pitch live on UCFathletics.com. Then after that, the softball team heads out to Houston for the Conference USA Championship Tournament. That event begins on Thursday with the championship game taking place on Saturday. You can see the action on UCFathletics.com. Meanwhile, baseball has a busy week coming up after the off weekend. On Tuesday, May 11th, the Knights face Jacksonville at home. First pitch is at 6:30. Then the same two squads finish up a home-and-home in Jacksonville the following night. First pitch for that game is at 6:30 p.m. as well. The baseball team then holds its final conference home series against East Carolina. The series with the Pirates begins Friday with Game 1 at 6:30 p.m. Game 2 is at 4 o'clock on Saturday, and the series concludes Sunday at 11 a.m. You can see all the action at UCFathletics.com. Fans, don't forget you can catch UCF Sports Night every Tuesday on UCF TV. The show also airs on Bright House Sports Network and Sun Sports throughout the week. Check your local listings for showtimes in your area. And for all the latest news, scores, and features from every UCF sport, log on to UCFathletics.com, your 24/7 online home for UCF sports. And of course, if you want to catch this edition of UCF Sports Night again, or you want to see any of our archived editions, you can anytime you want online. All you've got to do is log on to UCF TV's website, which is at www.ucf.tv, or log on to UCFathletics.com. Well, that's going to do it for us for this week here on UCF Sports Night. We'll catch you again next week. For all of us here at UCF Athletics and UCF TV, I'm Jeff Sharon saying thanks for watching, have a great week, and go Knights!
Hey, this is LT from 101.1 WJRR. You're listening to the best sounds of area music. UCF Athletics, Access Magazine, and WJRR are proud to support local artists. You can find more great artists by going online at www.wjrr.com and also accessmag.com. And by listening to Native Noise each and every Sunday at 11 o'clock.
UCF Sports Night is brought to you by UCF TV.